Hi, this is a demonstration on how to pair your smartphone to the rooftop unit. So one of the things that's important for you to know that the unit must be powered up at least 2 minutes ahead of time for the main board in it to finish the reboot process. When it has completely rebooted, you should have a green LED present. That means it's ready to app. Also, if you don't already have the app downloaded on your phone, you can focus on the QR code to download the app. The QR code is also located on the front page of the installation instructions as well. So once you have your green light and you're ready to pair, you can press and hold the pairing button for about 2 to 5 seconds. And when you hold it long enough, then we should get a flashing blue light. All right. Okay, so we have a flashing blue light, and so we launch the app, and we search for the unit. And then we come up with a screen that will give us the RTU name, the model number, and the firmware version that's on the unit. You press the Finish button on the app, and then immediately it will show you a status screen for the unit with what it's doing right now. And this one right now is in idle, it's not doing anything. And that's it for pairing. Okay, so now that you are paired to the app, we'll go ahead and step through the install menu on it to set it up for the first time. All right, and as you go through, when you look at the upper left corner of your screen, you will sometimes see the information icon. So when you get to things where you maybe need like a configuration ID decoded, you can press that information button. It will bring up the decoder for your configuration IDs, and it will also bring up any other useful information depending on which page you're on or where that icon comes up. So when we hit the menu on the app, we'll tap on the install menu, and the first thing up is the date and time. And you can choose to set the date and time to use your mobile device date and time just by turning that button on. And then you hit next. And then the next option is an RTU name. You can tap on that and type in the RTU name. The model number will already be there from the factory. Serial number 2, catalog number should be there as well. And when you've got those in, go ahead and hit next. The next thing up on the install menu is your configuration IDs. There are 2. Configuration ID number 1, configuration ID 2. And these are where you choose the options for the unit. The configuration ID should also match the configuration ID label that comes on the control panel of the unit. You'll go ahead and hit next when you've got the configuration ID complete if you've added any changes or added any accessories. Next on there will be the dehumidification mode. So if it's a Humiditrol unit, this should already be selected. If it's a non-Humiditrol unit, then you'll be able to select Enhanced Dehumidification if you need it for that. Once you've made your selections for dehumidification, you'll press the next. And then you choose your sensory input for your dehumidification mode, whether it's going to be local sensor or a network sensor or a digital input. And when you've selected that, you'll hit next and move on to the next thing, where you will also choose your reheat set point and the dehumidification dead band. After those are selected, we'll move to the dehumidification, the enhanced dehumidification menu to select or deactivate that. The next thing on the menu is a status or a summary of the selections that you've made in the setup. So you can review your selections and hit Next. And we get a second page of the summary. And then when you hit Next on that time, you are done with it. You have a unit now that's set up and ready to roll. Thanks.
Hi, in this video we're going to talk about the buttons available on the core unit controller and how they function. The first button you'll see here to the left is the Test button. By holding that button for a short press, you will see Test show up on the 7-segment display and the unit will go into test mode for 30 minutes. The second button on the right here is the Reset and Clear Delays button. A short press of the button will allow the unit to clear delays. That could be lockouts or stage-up delays, and a longer press will restart the entire unit controller. There are 3 buttons on the W4 controller. The top button allows you to pair to your smartphone device or to pair wireless sensors to the system. The second button is a restart or power button for the W4 module specifically.
This video is to highlight some of the new wiring in the Model L units and the new gateway antenna that is installed in the unit that provides wireless connectivity from the core service app to the core unit controller and also to the wireless sensors that would be located down in the space. So first going with some of the Modbus wiring, you can see there you have the white cable that is shielded and protects the communication from the core unit controller to the inverter on the Model L units. And then the orange cable there runs to the blower section behind me, as well as the gas heat section down below to communicate with the Direct Plus blower or the Mitsubishi inverter that we have in our units. And then it also communicates to the ignition control module for units with gas heat. So pointing out where the wireless connectivity comes through with the factory installed gateway, and so that's going to be down in the return air kind of section of the unit, just outside of likely an economizer. But that's where that's going to be located. It's just routed up through the unit. One of the major things to point out when doing both the wireless antenna routing and the Modbus cable routing is that you never want to zip tie them to high voltage wire. These wiring harnesses carry communication back and forth between the components, and tying them to a high voltage wire is just going to cause interference with that communication. So good note there, just to make sure we're always keeping those away from the high voltage wires.
Hi, today I'm going to show you how to start up a Linux Model L unit without the use of the Linux Core Service app. You can do that by simply using a long press of the Test or left white button when the unit is in pre-install. The unit will then operate in a 2-stage thermostat mode until the unit is given a power reset or the unit is commissioned correctly using the Linux Core Service app. That's it? That's it.
Hi, in this video we're going to learn how to set up the rooftop unit for network integration. Our example is going to be BACnet MSTP. For BACnet MSTP, you will connect your wiring to this location on the core controller. If you were doing BACnet IP, you would connect your wiring to a different location, which is here. First, we must pair to the rooftop unit. I'm already paired, So I will select the rooftop unit menu, scroll down, and then select the network integration menu. From network integration, I'm going to select the network setup wizard, and then I'm going to select BACnet MSTP. Once the next screen opens, I have to enter my MAC address, my device instance, and my baud rate, and I get those from my configurator. The next step is to set up where I want to have control. I'm going to select room sensor. The next step is what kind of a room sensor. Is it local, network, or S-bus? For this example, I'm going to select local. Now I have to select whether my relative humidity sensor is local, network, or BACnet. Again, I'm going to select local. Next, I'm going to select the temperature sensor source. My choices are local, network, or S-bus. And again, I'm going to select local. Next, I'm going to select my occupied blower speed. For purposes of this test, I'm going to select on continuous 1. Next, I have to select my backup mode. What do I want to happen if the building management system were to fail? I'm going to select return air backup. My next selections are what set points do I want for heating and cooling during backup operation. And that's it. The next screen is a summary. Press next to see all of your selections, and then once you get to the last summary screen, press finish and you're done. Hi, in this video we will learn how to put the rooftop unit into standalone mode. What if you needed to start up the equipment prior to having the building management system in place? That's when you would use standalone mode. First, we have to pair to the unit. I've already done so. So next I'm going to select the rooftop menu, and then I'm going to select network integration. I will select network setup wizard, and then my next selection will be standalone mode. Now I have to decide how I want the blower to operate. I'm going to select continuous. Next, I have to decide what type of backup mode I want. My backup mode is going to be return air backup. My next selections are my heating and cooling set points. Make your set point selections and press next, and then you will see a summary screen. The summary shows you all of the selections that you've made. Press the next button to pass through the summary screens, press the finish button, and now you're done.
Hi, we will review the test and balance procedures for the new Model L. We will start with the blower calibration. You will need to pair the Linux service app to the core unit controller. In this case, I'm using a tablet. Once connected to the unit, click the menu button in the upper left-hand corner. Next, scroll down and click on Test and Balance. You will want to start the blower calibration by clicking Blower. You will be prompted to enter the design CFM values, verify those are correct, and click Next. You will receive a warning message, verify it is safe to start the blower motor, and press Start Calibration. The blower calibration can take a few minutes to complete. Do not be alarmed during the calibration process, as the blower will speed up and slow down to complete the calibration. When the calibration is complete, you should see Auto Calibration Success. Click Next. You can review the summary and click Finish.
Hi. In this video, we're going to learn how to test components in a Model L unit. First, pair your phone to the unit. Once you're paired, click the rooftop unit menu, scroll down, and select Component Test. Once you enter the Component Test menu, you have a few choices. You can test cooling, heating, blowers, dampers, outdoor fans, dehumidification, and outputs from the unit. Let's start with the cooling test. We want to make sure that the unit is in a full call for cooling, so we'll select the highest cooling that we can. We enter the test menu, press Start Test. Make sure no one's in the way of the blower. Press Start. Once you've confirmed your test results, press Stop Test. The next test we're going to do is a heating test. This unit has one stage of heating. Select to test either discharge temperatures or return air temperatures. Let's select discharge. You can hear the heater kick on. Once you've confirmed your test results, press the Stop Test button. Next, we're going to do the blower test. Press blower, press Start Test, confirm that no one's in the way of the fans, press Continue. Then press the up or down button to regulate the speed of the blower. Once you hear the blower start up, press Stop Test. The next test we're going to do is the outdoor unit fans. This unit has one fan. Press Outdoor Fans. Press Fan 1. Press Start Test. Confirm that no one's in the way of the fans. Press Continue. And you should hear the fan begin to ramp up. Once you've verified your fan operation, press Stop Test. The next component we're going to test are the dehumidification components. We're going to test the reheat components on this unit. Press Start Test. Press Continue. Verify your discharge air temperatures and press Stop Test. The last test that we can perform is component outputs. Press Outputs, turn the service relay on, hear the click, press the back button when you've done with the test.
Hi, we will review the minimum damper position setting procedures for the new Model L. You will need to pair the Linux service app to the core unit controller. In this case, I'm using a tablet. Once connected to the unit, click the menu button in the upper left-hand corner. Next, scroll down and click on Test and Balance. Then you will need to click on Damper. Here you will be prompted to enter the economizer set point, then click Next. You will then be prompted to enter the supplier set point, then click Next. You should see the damper calibration screen. Click Close Damper to begin the damper calibration. It's important to visually verify that the damper is closed during the calibration process. Once the damper is fully closed, press Next. Next will be the damper full open test. Click Open Damper. You will be prompted to visually verify the damper is fully open, then click Next. It's important to verify the damper is fully open during the damper calibration. You will receive a warning message on the screen. Verify it is safe to start the blower and press Turn Blower On. The blower should start on high speed, and you can now read your outside air and adjust the damper position to achieve the designed outside air totals. Once the damper position is set, press Next. The blower motor will slow to the low speed setting, and the airflow can now be read. Adjust the damper to achieve the designed outside air and press Next. You will be prompted to select the ventilation type. Select and press Next. Adjust the setting to meet your needs and press Next. You will be prompted to enter the exhaust mode. Select and press Next. Then you will need to adjust the economizer travel for stage 1. Press Next. The next setting is fresh air tempering. Adjust as needed and press Next. You can review the summary, ensure the information is correct, and click Next.
Hi, today we're going to take a look at how to view the active alarms and alerts from the core unit controller using the Linux Core Service app. I've already paired the app to my controller, and I'm on the system overview. On the system overview, I can see that there are 2 active alerts. By clicking the active alerts button, I can see that I've got a zone sensor and humidity sensor alarm. I can then click each alert to show me details about the alert and how to resolve it. This particular alert tells me that I have a zone sensor problem on A2, and the troubleshooting steps that I need to take are to check my sensor and my wiring. It's just how easy it is to solve problems on the Model L with the Core Service app. Hi, in this video, I'll show you how to save logs from the core unit controller to your mobile device. First, pair your phone to the core unit controller and navigate to the RTU menu. Once you're in the RTU menu, you can go to the Report tab. In the Report tab, the second option will be for System Logs. Click that option, and it will present you with several different options to save the logs. First, I'm going to name the log something that I would recognize on my USB device or my mobile phone. Then I'll click the Save button on my mobile device. Depending on if you have an iOS or Android phone, your phone will give you prompts on where you would like to save it. I'm going to save it in my iPhone's Downloads category. Click Done, and the Core Service app will save the system logs directly to your device. You can then choose to share, view, or save them wherever you'd like.
Hi, we're going to do a quick little video here, about a minute long, to show you how to change a control parameter on the Linux Core Service app in the core unit controller with Model L. So we're going to start. This is the main screen you'll come to after connecting and pairing with the core unit controller. Click the top left here. We'll take the RTU menu and we'll go down to Settings, and here we'll go to RTU Options. Once you're in RTU Options, you'll see several things here, but what you want to focus on is this Edit Parameter down at the bottom. You'll want to click that, and then in here you have a little bit of new functionality with the Core Service app. You can see you have categories that maybe help you find what you're looking for faster. We also have a search functionality up here at the top. Either way, you can find exactly what you're looking for. In here, heating, for example, you'll see the control parameters on the left and their defaults over there on the right. And that is how you find a control parameter with the Model L Core Service app.
The USB on Core is used for saving logs, service reports, and firmware updating the board. Simply insert a USB and use the mobile app to run each of those functionalities.
Hi, this video is to go over the features and benefits of Humiditrol Plus, or a modulating high-gas reheat system on Model L units. So one of the things that we want to talk about when we're talking about Humiditrol Plus is all the components are operating in a variable capacity in order to vary the latent and sensible load. So for our variable speed compressor, it is going to be modulating based on the dehumidification demand in the space. The further you are away from set point, the faster that compressor will run to remove more moisture from the air. Our indoor blower will be operating to maintain a saturated suction temperature, which is basically the evaporator coil temperature. It is going to try and optimize the airflow so that we're removing as much moisture as possible from the air. Our outdoor fans are going to be modulating to maintain a discharge air temperature, and so that's how we control the sensible load going to the space, and that will create a neutral air overall. Just like our units today, the reheat valve is going to be an on-off reheat valve when we're operating in hot gas reheat. And so that basically describes all the components with the Humiditrol Plus or modulating hot gas reheat operation. So let's walk through the setup on the app just to see some of the features and options that you'll see as you're setting this up in the install wizard. Okay, so going through setup and install, you hit your normal buttons, the time, the configuration, the model number, serial number, things like that. And once you have that for Humiditrol units, configuration ID 1, position 1 will be set to H. And basically once you're there, you'll be able to select a dehumidification mode. No conditions means that as long as you have a dehumidification demand, you will enter that hot gas reheat operation. So as you click next, you'll be provided with more menu options. Really the sensor or how you want to indicate that you have a dehumidification demand. So your options are your DI4 for 24 volt controls. You'll have your network sensor or local sensor. That can be a 0 to 10 volt, or that can be a CS8500, something like that. That provides that value to the core controller. And from there, even with units with Humiditrol or hot gas reheat, we will still have the option to enable enhanced dehumidification through the mobile app. And so in this one, we're going to go ahead and click yes. And there you have it. So now you have a unit configured with Humiditrol operation. Hi, this video will highlight the features and benefits of enhanced dehumidification mode on Model L. We will also walk through the core service app and highlight how to enable the enhanced dehumidification mode in the install menu. The main benefit of enhanced dehumidification is that it will work with the compressors and the indoor blower to remove the maximum amount of moisture from the air. So basically it is enabled when there is a cooling and dehumidification demand, and the system operates to increase the latent capacity and remove more moisture from the air. Now let's walk through it on the mobile app. So the first thing you'll do is you'll go to the Setup and Install menu. And there you'll walk through the general install. As you're doing that, you'll be prompted with several questions. You'll hit OK, enter the right information, and eventually you'll get to the point where it'll ask you, do you want enhanced dehumidification set up? It's really just a simple yes. You'll switch it over. Disabled, now it's enabled, and there you are. The unit is now set up for enhanced dehumidification mode. Again, this will increase your latent capacity and remove more moisture from the air when there's a cooling and dehumidification demand.
Hi, and in this video we'll show you how to check the firmware version of your core unit controller and show you how to update it from a USB device. When the core controller boots, you'll see the firmware version pop up on the 7-segment display. If you miss that, you can always pair with the core service app and navigate to the firmware menu. Once paired, go to the RTU menu, then select Firmware Update under Service. At the top of the firmware update screen, you will see the current firmware update information. It shows that for this unit, the current firmware is 09.00.0251. Now, if I have a firmware file loaded on a USB, I can plug that into the core unit controller. Mine's already plugged in. To update the controller, hit Upgrade from USB. The controller will take some time to search for a firmware version. You can select the firmware version on the USB drive you'd like to update to, then hit the Install button to complete and run the firmware upgrade. A firmware upgrade will take about 10 to 15 minutes, and the unit controller will restart after it is completed. You can then navigate back to the firmware menu and confirm that the firmware was successfully updated.